Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. Now, today's story time is ridiculous. I hope you guys enjoy it, but before we jump into it, just want to say I had a new song drop 2 weeks ago. I also make music besides doing YouTube, so if you guys want to go check that out, I'll leave it top link in the description. I think it's a cool song. If you like it, tweet me, tag me on Instagram. I love seeing support. But anyway, guys, today's story time is about the TikTok girl. Now, if you're unaware of who the TikTok girl is, I made a story time a while back. It was about this girl. It was an ex-girlfriend of mine, and she was obsessed with TikTok, okay? She would always make TikToks. She was always on her phone just scrolling through TikTok. And yeah, to say the least, she was in love with the app, and I call her the TikTok girl. Now, she dumped me on TikTok. She made a TikTok of her breaking up with me while her phone was in her pocket, and I had no idea. If you want to go watch that full story time and another story time I made about her that are both pretty good in my opinion, I'll link both in the description and I'll put a card on the screen for the first one. So yeah, you guys can go watch that if you would like. But anyway, this story time is about her. She's back, okay? Now, I don't know what is going on, but somehow, some way, these people keep finding my address. I moved recently. I have this new address that, is nowhere on the internet. Seriously, it's nowhere. I've done a whole sweep, okay? But somehow these girls, specifically my old babysitter and my ex-girlfriend, somehow find my address and then pop up at my front door and just want to start talking to me. And it's so crazy. I don't get it. But anyway, yeah, that's what today's story time's about. I hope you guys enjoy this. Leave a like on the video if you do, and let's jump into this. So this story time takes place less than 24 hours ago. Literally last night, okay? It was 1 in the morning. I was on my computer, just having a nice, chill, normal night, doing nothing really, just watching YouTube videos. And my window in my office looks out to my driveway, and I see headlights coming through my window shining right on me. And I look out, and I can see that there's a car in my driveway, just parked there. And I'm thinking okay, that's a little bit strange. It's 1 in the morning. This is kind of scary. They're shining right on me through my window. But then I thought about it and tried to be a little bit more, reasonable. And I was like, okay, it's probably just some car turning around because, sometimes at night, cars will use driveways to turn around. That's usually pretty common. So I thought that's what they were doing. But then the car just sat there, in my driveway for 2 minutes. And I was like, what is this? Who is this? Why are they just sitting in my driveway? So I get up and I walk out of my office and I start peeking out my window through the blinds in my living room because I didn't want to be in my office anymore because the window in my office was wide open and they could just see me. So yeah, I went to the living room to kind of hide out and peek out the blinds of that window so they couldn't see me anymore. And the car was just sitting there. Now, I could not tell who this was because it was so dark outside. I could really only see the car and the headlights. So this whole time, I'm just standing in my living room trying to look out the window and just wait for an opportunity to try and get a glimpse of this person's face or maybe their license plate so I could write it down or just something to see who this was, right? And they just keep sitting there in the car with their lights on, just creepily sitting in my driveway with their lights on, not turning off their car. So finally, I'm getting real sick of this. I'm all right, it's late at night. Who is this? Why are they just sitting in my driveway? Maybe it's some food delivery person, right? And they're at the wrong house, because that's a possibility. So I go outside and I decide to go up to the car and ask them what they're doing. Now look, don't do that, okay? If there's ever a random car outside your house at 1 a.m., don't just walk outside by yourself and go and talk to them. Don't do that. There's many other things you could do that are way safer. But my dumbass decides to go out and talk to this person, right? To see who they are and to see why they're in my driveway. So I put on my hoodie, I put on flip-flops, and I walk out into my front yard towards this car in the driveway. And I walk up to it, and I just wave at them. Now at this point, I'm 2 feet away from the driver's side window, and I still can't see them at all. It's so dark outside, and there's no light on inside their car, so I cannot see who this is. I only see their headlights in front of them and the car itself. Now, there is one thing I noticed about the car. This was the same car that my ex-girlfriend owned, aka the TikTok girl, and I saw her with that same car at the store in that previous story time. So when I saw this, I was like, okay, she has the same car. But I didn't think that it was her, because first of all, it's 1 in the morning. Why would she show up at my house at 1 a.m.? Second of all, how would she know my address? That's weird. And third of all, a lot of people own this car. It's a very common car all over the world. So I didn't think much of it, but then all of a sudden, the window rolls down, and I see who this person is. And let me tell you, I was very surprised. So the window rolls down, and I see none other than my ex-girlfriend, aka the TikTok girl, and I just see her sitting there looking at me with this look of just anger. And I'm like, whoa, what are you doing here at 1 in the morning? And she was like, I came to talk to you because I can't get your number anywhere online. I'm like, you couldn't get my number online, but you could find my address? She was like, yep. I'm like, where? And she goes, don't worry about that. And she gets out of her car and stands up. Now at this point, I'm genuinely scared, creeped out. She got my address from somewhere. She showed up to my house at 1 a.m. and she looks angry. And she gets up out of her car and she looks me in my eyes and goes, Austin, why do you keep making videos about me? And I was like, I've only made 2. And she's like, yeah, 2 too many. And I'm like, I'm sorry. And she goes, look, I came over here to just ask you nicely. Please stop. I don't like it. It's just slander. I'm like, I'm not slandering you. I didn't say anything wrong about you. Last time I saw you, we had a nice interaction, and then you randomly flipped me off in the parking lot of a store. And she's like, yeah, well, guess what? You deserve that. I was faking it. I didn't like you. And I was like, wow, well, likewise. And she goes, fuck you. And I go, okay, fuck you too, Addison Rae. And she goes, what'd you just call me? I'm like, you heard me, TikTok girl. And that pissed her off so bad. She got back in her car, slams the door, rolls down her window, and proceeds to throw an empty Chick-fil-A bag at me. And she starts yelling, just cussing me out at 1 a.m. in my driveway in this quiet neighborhood. Now, I had a friend staying over for the night, so my friend came down and walked out onto the porch, and he's like, yo, what's going on out here? And he walks off the porch over to us, and he sees her, and his face immediately just looks shocked. Now, this friend that was staying at my house, I've been friends with him for years, and he knew me back when I was dating this girl. So when he saw her sitting in my driveway in her car at 1 a.m., just throwing a fit, basically, he knew how creeped out I was. And he looks at her and he's like, what are you doing here? And she goes, I'm just talking to Austin about his videos he makes about me. And my friend goes, at 1 a.m, you showed up to Austin's house. You couldn't have just, like, I don't know, called someone that knows Austin, like me. You have my number. You could have just called me any day and been like, hey, can you talk to Austin for me? Or, like, can you give me his number so I can talk to him? And I probably would have. But no, you had to come and show up at 1 a.m. and creep both of us out. And I just start laughing because he was being funny. And also, I didn't know what else to do but laugh in this weird, awkward, scary situation. And she gets mad because I'm laughing and goes, nothing about this is funny, Austin. I'm like, yeah, you're right, actually. You showing up at my house at 1 a.m. isn't funny. It's terrifying. And she goes, whatever. I'm just here to say, stop making videos about me. I'm like, why? I'm not doing anything bad, illegal, or anything. Like, I don't give out your name. And she goes, I don't care. I don't like the videos. So stop it now or you're going to face the consequences. So I make a joke about it. I'm like, I'm going to face the consequences. What are you going to do, make a TikTok about me? And she goes, no, but you'll see. Now that was a little bit terrifying because I don't know what she meant by that. So I just left it off at this. I was like, look, I'm sorry you don't like my videos, but I don't do anything wrong in them. I didn't give up your name. I didn't say anything about you personally. And last time me and you talked, literally not even like a month or 2 ago, you said that you liked the videos. So I don't understand what you're saying right now. And like I just said earlier, the videos, there's nothing wrong with them. There's no personal information in them. There's nothing illegal in them. Like, completely okay videos to make. And she just gives me this angry look and goes, stop making them, Austin. And she rolls up the window and backs out of my driveway and drives off. And my friend just looks at me and goes, yo, you really have the craziest ex-girlfriends. I'm like, dude, I'm going inside. And I turned around and I walked inside and he followed behind me laughing. And yeah, we both went inside. I locked the door. I made sure every other door and window was locked after that. And I sat down back at my computer watching YouTube videos, just prepared to basically call the cops if she came back because I knew that that was definitely a possibility. So yeah, guys, she didn't come back all night, but now we're here. Hopefully that never happens again. But I had to tell this story time because it was just too crazy not to. So yeah, guys, that's the 3rd story time of the TikTok girl. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all later. Peace. And I'm like, what's up? They leave me out for the dead and